Hello, everyone. I'm Greg Giglio, principal of Homestead High School, and here with another edition of our weekly video message. Today is Friday, November 5th, and I have a couple of guest stars. So again, it's been a couple of weeks since we've had this. So again, I'm glad to have a few people on here. So introduced to you first is Rita Figueroa. She is our attendance clerk and backup health clerk. So whenever you call for your sick kid or to excuse a kid or doctor's appointment, Rita is the person that you are most likely talking to, and she's the one who helps you out with that. And then Dan Yusim, who you may have seen last year as one of our guest stars. He is our athletic trainer, and he's also our health clerk. And so obviously we're focusing sort of on health clerks today. So I want to get a little information out about these two important roles in our office. So Dan, how long have you been here now? You've been here a couple of years, several years, actually longer than me.
Yeah, so this is actually, I'm going into my 14th official year at Homestead High School. So
Excellent.
It's been a long trek.
Right. And Rita, you've been here for what, 4 or 5 years now?
4 years.
4 years. All right.
Yeah.
And so again, the two of you make up our health team. And so what does that mean? I mean, what purpose do you guys fulfill and serve as health clerks here at Homestead?
So me and Rita kind of work together as the dynamic duo to kind of help provide immediate first aid care, or if some students have chronic health conditions, we kind of help support them, whether they have that through a medical 504 or whether they have that through a medical management plan that they've established with their doctor and with the district nurse. So we kind of are the eyes and ears for our district nurse that works out of the district office, and we kind of support them kind of with the frontline work that we can make sure that we provide health services for all of our students at Homestead.
Great. So if I am a parent who has a child that has a medical condition or a health need, what do I do? Where do I get started? How do I help my kid?
So the simple way is that they can reach out to me, and my email is on our school website under staff directory, where I can send you the forms that you actually need to fill out for your child's condition. Or you can go to our district website, and under parents, there is a section where you can click under health forms, and that'll give you all the different health forms, whether that requires your kid to have allergy action plan due to a food allergy, if they need to carry over-the-counter medication due to migraines or headaches. But if a student does need to require any medication on campus, we do, per ed code, need to have documentation from the doctor supporting those forms. So the short answer is, if you do need something, you can reach out directly to me, and my email's on our school website. But also you can go to the district website for parents under the health forms portal.
Okay. And so both of you are on here because in the morning, Dan, you're here in the office, and this is the GSS building. And that's where you're sitting right now. And so you're here, but you're here until what time?
I'm here 9:30 to 1:30 in the GSS.
Yeah, and then after that, you go do your athletic training work over there. And so Rita, when Dan is not here, is the person that you would see or that we would call and ask for help. And so one of the other questions that comes up is, like, before the pandemic, before COVID, kids who were sick or injured on campus would come to you, but it's a little bit different right now. So one of you want to talk about what's the difference now for sick kids?
Sure. Sir, so what we're kind of working on is that we all have a designated COVID trainee person, I believe. Sorry if I get the lingo wrong. And that is Brian Dong, one of our wonderful assistant principals here. So if a student is, displaying or expressing any symptoms, COVID-like symptoms, they are redirected to Brian Dong or Toby Mockler, and they will do some additional screenings with that student, and they will make the appropriate phone call to parent guardians, whether that student needs to leave and take the rest of the day off. And then they can ask questions about vaccination and make the appropriate decisions from there. So now with COVID still kind of being around, me and Rita are focusing more on student first aid and wound care, or if we're dealing with students that already have a health condition that we are aware of, that we're seeing whether that's daily medication or if we're help supervising, facilitating whatever accommodation they have. So for the meantime, this school year so far, me and Rita have been focusing on primarily first aid and meeting with those students that we know have health conditions.
Okay. So if a kid is hurt on campus, maybe going to and from a class or in a class or on the way to school, usually a staff member will call us and they'll come to the office. If a kid, though, is hurt, maybe coming to school on a bike or maybe in between classes, they can come just walk into the office and we can help them as well too. So,
Correct.
and then, so Rita, you're also part of this team. And so what is the best way to get a hold of you if people can't find Dan?
So if you can't find Dan, I'm also in the GSS building, but I'm directly next to the front office. When you come in the front desk, there's a sign on my desk that says attendance, and that's where you'll find me. So usually I'll try and head you off before you go see Dan if there's something that I can help you with, just to give him some time to get some other work done. But yeah, you can find me in the front office. It's easy peasy.
Great. So again, you guys mentioned the website is a good source. Email is a great source. And again, your names are there on the screen. So it's always first name _ last name at fuhsd.org, or just pop on in if you're a student and be happy to help you. So I want to thank you for taking a moment out of your busy days and let you get back to doing that. And I will go on with the rest of my show here. But thank you guys for showing up again. Rita and Dan, our health team.
Thanks.
All right. Take care.
Take care, you guys.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
And as they go away, I'm going to find and share my screen here. So let me go ahead and do that. I got to get this into presentation mode. There we go. All right, so as I said, today is Friday, November 5th, kind of going with the retro 80s look here on this one. So this I think this one's one of my favorites, but this was actually a very small number of responses this time. So I don't know if people are getting tired of this. Maybe I need to do a new survey to jazz things up here in the last 6 weeks of school, but only a couple here. So this is a short video today. So for our recognitions and shout outs, we do have a thank you for these weekly updates. This parent said, please keep them going. New to the school with my freshmen, and these weekly updates are super useful. And yeah, this is something that we are planning on doing. Again, for those of you who may not be aware of it, we started this during the remote learning when we weren't able to really get a hold of people, and we wanted to try and keep a connection. And I've actually found these to be really helpful for ourselves too, because we do get a lot of information, and I do share this information with the staff. I get a lot of data through here, and I can say, hey, this is what parents are telling me, and I've got a lot of concerns about these kinds of things. So definitely helpful for us too. So I'm glad that you are all finding them useful as well. And the last second recognition shout out goes to Vicki Feltman. And she is a parent volunteer with our music department. She also actually works over at Cupertino, which we won't hold against her, but she does do that, and she does help out our music department. And so there was a thank you in there for always providing orchestra families with detailed and up-to-date information. And as we are approaching Thanksgiving here, again, being grateful and giving gratitude out to those who have done a great job. So again, help fill your own mental health with being grateful for others. So please make sure you fill out the survey and send us some of your recognitions and shout outs. And then that brings us to our questions and concerns. And like I said, only a couple of them here. So there's a question about the AP registration codes for kids who are only taking the exam. So they're not in the class, they're just taking the exam. They were wondering when they will get them. Now, this one came to me right at the end of last week, and it was after I filmed the video. So I just didn't get a chance to do it till now, but codes did start going out last week. They have been coming out this week. So you really should already have them by now. If for some reason you do not have one of those, please contact Liz Angel or Brian Dong. And again, these are only for kids who are taking the advanced placement AP exams, who are not in a class. So again, I hope that makes sense. So you should have them. If not, please contact Mrs. Angel or Mr. Dong, please. There was a change in the first semester finals, and the question was like, why did that happen? Well, by law, because we're doing the free lunch program for everybody, we did need to make sure we were posting when brunch and lunch were happening. We realized we didn't have that in there. We also realized there's been a couple of versions that are floating around, and so we did not use the one that was the last approved one, and so we had to go and fix that a bit. So again, my fault on that one. Sorry for the confusion. So anyway, the new one is out there. I'll share with you in a second. And just a quick note, this one was actually listed as, can you send me a private response? But there wasn't a number or an email for me to do that. So again, if you do want a private response, please make sure you put a number and email. It's helpful if you put your name too, although I know some people don't want to give me their name because if they feel it's a concern or question. Again, you're in a safe place here. These are confidential. I'm not going to share with people unless you want me to share. But again, it's nice to know, like, it's kind of awkward to call and say, did you leave a message or a survey response? But anyway, again, if you want a private one, please just leave a response there. Otherwise, I'll do a public one like this as best I can. So this is the new schedule. Again, we have enrichment period there as well too. So enrichment, as you can see, a little note down there, mentions that enrichment time is a flexible, non-mandatory period that may be used to help students complete or make up work as well as prepare for finals per the discretion of the teacher. So even though these days start a little bit later and they end a little earlier, there are, through the arrangement of the teacher, you might want to make sure your student is talking to the teacher to see if they are able to do any of these enrichment periods. But again, this is what the new schedule looked like. So we do have brunch from 8:40 to 8:55 in the morning for those who get here, want a little food to get themselves going. That is still part of our free lunch program. We have periods 4 and 7 on the Monday, 1 and 3 on the Tuesday, 5 and 6 on the Wednesday, and period 2 only on the Thursday. And then all of those are followed by the enrichment. Again, you do not have to stay on campus. You do not necessarily even have to attend any periods. Although again, check with the teachers. If you're looking for some help, you're looking for some study time, campus will be open. It's not a bad place to be. And there is lunch being served as well at those times. So that's what the schedule looks like. And again, sorry for the confusion on the first round, but we're hopeful that's all cleared up now. This also gives me a chance to talk about safety, which is kind of one of always our big concerns. And just a reminder to watch out for bikes and pedestrians. As the time is changing, we're getting dark, still pretty dark in the morning. There's been rain, there's been fog. Really need to keep an eye out, knowing that there's going to be bicyclists and skaters and scooters and pedestrians coming to school. We did actually have a student who got knocked off their bike at Marion Cascade. And so that student is okay. They get some scrapes, but just a reminder to please make sure you're looking around and just assume that there are kids out there as you're coming and going from campus. Because again, it's not only our kids here at Homestead, but the kids down at Cupertino Middle School and maybe some other schools that are in the area. So please just keep an eye out there. In this case too, the driver actually drove away and didn't stop. And so again, that is illegal. So if you do happen to, knock a kid or get into a little fender bender or something like that, please stop and make sure that make sure the kid's okay. But also just make sure you don't get any further legal trouble for that. And just a couple of those reminders. Again, if you see a green bike lane, that means the priority is for the biker. So you don't get to just park there. You don't just get to kind of cut through there. You do need to make sure that bikes have a way to get past you and through you. So even at those entrances, you'll see that's where the lanes get dashed a little bit. So the green will be a solid green, and then in front of driveways and turn areas, it gets dashed because it means a car can turn in, but you're only supposed to turn in when it's clear and safe. And so like going into the horseshoe, please just keep an eye out because there are mostly community members who are riding to work or something along Homestead. Our bikers are usually going up the Mary Street pathway or coming in the other way. So that's usually not our kids, but please make sure you take a look for that. Again, if you're a biker, please wear your helmet. Please stay in your lane. We also had a video last week of a kid who kind of cut just without even looking. They made a signal, which was great, but just cut across the lane right in front of a car. And thankfully the car was able to stop and not hit the student, but that would have been a pretty bad accident. But please wear your helmet. Please stay in your lanes. Don't go out in different areas where you're not supposed to be. And again, pedestrians, we just remind you to please use crosswalks and go with the lights. We know it gets tempting to try and go a little bit early, but please don't do that. And now we do have that community, the crosswalk scramble right there on Mary and Homestead. So in front of the staff lot. So it really does help. It also has been helping with traffic, believe it or not. It has been really nice to kind of get the break, and it allows the horseshoe to sort of clear out for the next round of cars that come in. And so those left-hand turns are also making able to get in. And so again, wasn't planning on the scramble helping with that, but it has. So again, please make sure you're using the scramble. And also just if you're a community member or community members that like to bike, please tell them to be heads up around the campus. Sometimes they're doing some unsafe things. And again, we see a lot of community members who come flying down the Mary Street bike path and they use our staff lot as a cut through, which is extremely dangerous because they're moving really quickly. Our cars may not be thinking there are bikes in there because we've been getting our bikes to go in a different area. So really, please don't use the staff lot as a cut through. Please use those bike lanes. So if you can get that word out, we really appreciate that. Just also a quick reminder, we sent an email out to students and to staff that if there's an issue in a bathroom, like you're out of toilet paper or the soap dispenser's there or there's maybe water on the floor, that kind of thing, please asking them to report those issues to their classroom teacher, or if they're not in a class that time, find the nearest adult and let us know, because we will fill out something called a help ticket, or we'll contact the office depending on what the issue is. If it's an emergency, we'll get somebody out there right away. If it's like, oh, we need to get this fixed eventually, we will get the help ticket. But that's a way for us to track those and know what's going on. It also helps keep the bathrooms in good order and makes sure it doesn't leave students stranded without soap or toilet paper, that kind of thing. Because again, Our custodians aren't going to be actively going through those bathrooms because they are trying to give students privacy. They do go through a couple times a day, but again, a lot of stuff can happen if there's a lot of traffic going through there, or somebody, maybe use more soap than they were thinking, it could run out. So just, it helps us do that. And if you hear of any issues or concerns, you can use this survey to send that to me, and we will definitely try and figure out how to make a resolution. Because again, we want to keep the bathroom safe. And again, part of our COVID safety protocols is to wash hands. So we want to make sure the soap is always in there and working. So thank you for that. And again, we're down to the very end. I told you it was a short video today. We have some big dates coming up here in November and December. So our first one right here is today. It's the end of the second grading period. So that means progress reports are going to be coming out. And again, reminder, progress reports are merely a snapshot. They're not a final grade. They are just an indicator of where your student is, whether they need to do some hard work these last 6 weeks, or whether they're doing okay, or whether they can also go down. So they make sure they're staying the course there. So those are coming out. There is a speaker series that is coming out. Again, if you go to our website, go to our bulletin, you will get more information about the BEEP program. I love that name, the Business Entrepreneur Encouragement Program. And so there's a guest speaker for that one. Also a reminder that there is no school on the 11th and 12th, which is Veterans Day. The Veterans Day is actually the 11th, but because it's a Thursday, we moved that other non-school day to the 12th just to make it a little bit easier on everybody. And then we do have a HHS talent show coming up on the 19th, as well as on the 19th. That's when, if you have a senior, please make sure they've got their senior portraits done, because we try to get everybody in the yearbook. And so it's really nice to have those formal photos and have them in there. Again, coming up for Thanksgiving special, Thanksgiving holiday, with a special schedule on the 23rd as well, but those 24th and 25th, we are not on campus. There are some 10th grade guidance presentations that will be happening in World Lit class that last couple of days of November, first couple of days of December. So just a heads up for those, for your sophomore parents. There are some music performances coming up. The choir winter performance and the jazz winter performance are on the 1st and 2nd. And there may be some other ones coming up before the end of the semester too, so I'll make sure they get on there. We also have our Winter Spirit Week, our Winter Wonderland Spirit Week, which is the week of the 6th. So there'll be lots more dress up opportunities, another rally perhaps, and some other fun activities that are going on for that week before we get into finals. And then again, you have finals, and the end of the first semester is on the 16th, as well as that winter formal, which is still on the books, is going forward. So we're hoping we still get to do that, and there hasn't been any change in those particular rules or regulations. So again, thank you very much for sticking around. Thank you to Dan Yusim and Rita Figueroa for being our guest stars today. And we look forward to getting more responses. Again, please fill out that survey. Please make sure we're hearing from you. And we look forward to seeing you next week. Thanks. Take care.